Hey, we are live streaming, so that's all fun and good. Just make sure all the things look like how they're supposed to look like. Yeah. Uh, let's go here, then go here, and then ping everyone. And then I'm just gonna get a couple things ready. But so the theme of today's live stream, as you can read from the title, is we're gonna try to make hypnotic techno. I've tried to do this a couple times. I'm really bad at it. I don't know what's up. Maybe I just spent so many years making music at like halftime that I don't know. I mean, I can make breakbeat and stuff decently, but when it comes to like techno, which I really like techno. What's up, Nick? Um, I'm a big fan of hypnotic techno. Some of my favorite artists make hypnotic techno. A huge fan of the Hypnus Records label. I'm terrible at making it, and I think it's like, it's like deceptively really difficult. At least for me, at least for my style. Anyways, I want to make a song much like this one, so I'm gonna play this while I get some stuff ready in the background for a second for inspiration. We're gonna what we're gonna do. I just bought the song. We're gonna analyze it, and we're gonna throw it in our timeline, figure out song structure and stuff like that. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go to the very basics. All right, we're gonna decompose and figure out how to copy a genre. How to make a song in a genre by analyzing a song. So I think it should be informative, at least for me. So yeah. Main initial thoughts are the sub bass is at A, 55 hertz. So usually in bass music we make a lot of music at like F, E, F sharp, D sharp, sometimes D if you're feeling super crazy. And the main difference is that like in that 40 to like 45, 35 to 45 hertz range, you don't really hear the sub bass as much as you rather feel it. The 55 hertz range sub bass on the techno kick, I think it has more of like a tribal-y kind of feel to it, like tribal drums, because drums very rarely have a fundamental at like 40 hertz, like if you're like playing, I don't know, I don't know the names of like the types of drums or whatever, but I feel like if you were to play like a deep bassy drum in like a drum circle or whatever, right? It would have a fundamental from like 60 to 80 to 100 hertz. Like the fundamental in tabla is like 100 hertz or something like that, and that's the drum that goes like boing, and that sounds super like quote unquote tribal to me, or like an udu drum, right? Like if we analyze like an udu drum or something, I don't know. Let's grab this video here. Whatever this is. Give me something.
Today.
Play it.
Oh.
Okay, she's not playing it. This guy. That's a tutorial. Just play the drum. Give me something cool.
That I've learned from other instruments. Taking that one step further and using each one of the fingers as an individual map. Now what's really cool is I don't even have to
none of them are playing it. I'm just trying udu drum solo, please, for the love of God. Here. Here's that same guy. So that's sub-range. I often neglect making music. That's fucking sick. I often neglect this sub-range because, yeah, a lot of bass music, you want it to be that optimal frequency for subwoofers or whatever, but you end up like missing out on a lot because that, like, you know, 70 to 110 hertz range, those are reserved for your harmonics of your sub bass, right? So anyways, this song here, what are we at? 130, I think. I can't type. I cannot not type. We're 120. So yeah, it's all around there, right? So we're gonna use this for a reference. We need a really good kick. So let's get a kick. Sort by rank. I mean, I always use this, but maybe we can process it, make it a little clickier. Like, let's make it super clicky and then get rid of the high. All right, relatively short decay time on this, but we're going to be using sub bass. Let's go to the sound. Okay. And then the sub bass is also working with the kick. So the sub bass turns the groove. This matters a lot. You could try to make it microtonal because I'm always trying to do that. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do 23 Ito. Why not? Then we're gonna want to shoot for sub bass. Made this, yeah, 23. The notes are labeled? I didn't know this one had labeled notes. Okay. What's up, Jade? How you doing? We're gonna struggle to make music. Okay, so we don't have enough octave space on the synth, so we have to lower. Right, so that. So what is called A here is definitely not A. That's 55. So okay, whatever C is here, I guess. Why? I thought C is gonna be. I thought C is the same pitch. I don't know anything. Then. Something like that. Why is it? Maybe we can do something funky with the, like, a high release. Yeah, automating release to be like a different point. And then this guy here. I think that's like okay. I think that's fine as a baseline for now. And then let's just think about this. It's so much better already. So I mean if I really want to copy that, it's we got a fundamental just like there every time. And then we're just doing that, right? And then there's like some extra little things thrown in. Had it backwards. Had it completely backwards. So I think what I need to do is I need to make it less, like I made an entire 4-bar phrase here that evolves and changes a lot, but maybe it should just be more, like much more loopy, right? So we can take an operator, and we'll just have this act as like another kind of sub thing. That there. No, yeah, we have to some shit like that, right? Yeah, that's the kind of shit that we need. We need different like tip, pitch, envelope stuff. And then let's make this quieter. That's better, right? Yeah, way better, way better. I need to just, it's techno. We're working within like a 1-bar phrase that just sounds really, really good that you want to repeat forever, right? So I need to lean away from this like making more complex 4-bar loops, at least for now, and creating the structure, I think. Now, I mean, we can add like shakers and percussion and shit like that, right? What else is here? There's just like a lot of like clicky clacks and stuff like that. No real snare. The song never really uses a snare in it. Let's think about structure. I mean, it's just working within 16-bar loops or phrases. Kinda. I'm putting a marker every time there's like a pause or a break, right? We add a lot of percussion here, so it starts to pick up. So we have like a 16-bar intro, 32 bar, like the beat actually like starts. We're introducing a lot more melodic elements and stuff. Then the percussion builds up here. The synth is doing cooler stuff. So again, every 32 bars, introduce more layers and shit. This is just all to be expected. Frankly, there is no discrete like measures or like big changes every 32 or 16 bars for like the next what looks like 64, because again it's, you know, it's hypnotic techno, so I guess you're supposed to kind of get lost in like the continuous unending stream, you know, like it doesn't really matter too much where the one is because you're in it for so long, even though it's like it's still there for the DJ to work within, but like for the listener, I suppose the structure ends up becoming more like malleable, I guess, or not malleable. It just like it's less obvious. There's just a lot of FX risers. What sounds like a riser kind of isn't. It's just interesting sound design all around. Like none of it's like super obvious. The entire breakdown is you just kind of remove the kick for a while. Different percussion layers get added. Okay, so there's only one breakdown. Interesting. Okay, so this is the intro. 16 bars, right? Hypnotic technician, there we go. What's up, Lucas? We're analyzing. We're analyzing a good song, and then we're gonna try to make a thing that is also good. So the structure is what always like kind of confuses me, because I'm very much EDM brained in terms of like obvious build up and drop and stuff. So I've always struggled making hypnotic techno, but I really like the genre. So we have 6-bar intro expected, 32 bars of like, I don't know, introducing all the main sounds. Then percussion, you know, percussion and stuff gets added over here, right? And it continues to build, and then add bass and stuff. This is the main meat of the song, and then this goes on for 64 bars, right? So it's a very long section. Then there's a 16-bar breakdown, and then a 32-bar thing. So 32-bar build up, sorta. Oh, it's not even. This is 24. This isn't even 32, is it? Am I? Yeah, this is 24. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. You can just wing it. But the point is, the structure matters less. All right, whatever. All right, so we got this. And we can duplicate this whole thing over even more. And then we can like just try to make slight variations maybe in the pitch or something. Right, that's like pretty damn subtle, honestly, but it's whatever. Let's add a little bit of saturation. lines be like really big. Now let's start adding clicky clacks. Let's get an operator. Operator's gonna be super clicky. It's gonna be kind of tonal. Let's add a noise layer. This guy, you, and then hit it with a arpeggiator. And then let's get a spell book. And then let's make the tonal layer free pitch. Right, and then let's add we'll just like change the decay amount just a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty similar. That's the closest I can get to like a lot of psytrance stuff. It's a nice in between of, yeah, techno and psytrance and all that, and the sound design's really cool. So we can get this guy going. Wondering, can we put this on rate, and then we'll do something like, and then take another arpeggiator. This one's on free pitch afterwards. And then can I just have this turn this on and off? How does that work? So when it's at 0 exactly on the spellbook, it completely turns off. I want it to be off 50% of the time, so get this. I'm going to increase the range. So 50% of the time it's above here, and the other 50% of the time it's smashed at 0. And then let's get legacy autofilter. Let's put you on that. Now let's get a dynamics generator. Legacy, I can give a seminar. You know me, it was my favorite thing to do. The legacy autofilter is just easier to use because I know where all the knobs are, and there's less layers and stuff. Look, I can switch between what type of filter I want just by clicking on this thing. New autofilter, I have to open up this god-awful tab. I want to switch to if I want to switch between beat and sync to the grid and hertz or whatever, I have to go down here. I have to find rate, and I have to change this to synced. It's a drop down instead of a button. And I have to the fucking, they added like extra wave types that I don't really care for. Like there's saw as well as ramp up and ramp down, and ramp up and ramp down effectively is a saw. It's just that it just changes where the offset is, whether or not the wave is like rectified negatively or not, or positively. The rate is backwards. Y is big on the left and small on the right. It's just all around terrible. They added a formant filter. That's cool. And then there's a saturator, which I can saturate afterwards if I want. So mostly it's just I'm just used to this one. So can I split this into 2 different chains? What happens if you split this into 2 different chains? Does that mean can you parallel process MIDI effects? That doesn't make any sense. Because this would send out an arpeggiated MIDI message and this would send out a not arpeggiated one? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why is that noise thing happening? What's causing that? Why is the noise doing that? What the fuck? We have the noise set to just decays, like super short. Yeah, what the is it just a response with when the arpeggiator is going really, really fast for some reason? Whatever, we need more sounds. Let's just grab more dudes. Okay, so that's a thing. Let's listen back to this. A lot of white noise filtered stuff. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, let's get some noise. It's like windy effects or something, right? So white noise on the sky. Beautiful. I love it. Auto filter. You know what? Let's use the normal auto filter for once. What do we got? Okay. Just turn. Let's just use the spellbook again. Then put the spellbook on that guy, and then what the fuck is resampling? Okay, it's like a bit crush filter, and even know that. what else? We got a lot of like textures and stuff now. There's just more bug sounds. We just need more bugs and stuff. More bugs. Put this on complex and then put these together. Wait, can I just do that? And then I want to pitch shift clip transposition is up over time. That's not going to do what I want. I have to. All right. Do that. Consolidate. Oh, Ibiza win. Oh yeah. We do a lot of techno tech house there. Like, there's a really good Carl Cox set when you played in, I think, Ibiza. I think so. I haven't listened to that set in like 5 years, but it's really good, and I need to re-listen to that. Honestly, it sounds like the complex mode kind of fucked it. This is terrible. How many transients are there in this? There's like none over here. Ooh. Port marker transients are all fucked, but we can just preserve this to like that. And then, oh, we need some like hats and stuff like that now. We need actual percussion. So shaker. Yeah, dude. That's just really in the background. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have many different open hats. Okay, we're gonna have a fuck ton of open hats, but then we're gonna be adjusting the dynamics of all of them, like offbeat open hats, right? So if we got that guy going, this guy, I can't place my open hats for the life of me. Kind of like that. That's just kind of cool. Just have that come every now and then, like as a little fill. So we can have these guys all going. We're gonna put this in a group, and I'm gonna call it the open hats, and then fucking I like that too. We're just gonna keep taking percussive stuff and just chucking it. And then this guy's really good. Take that. And then wait, can we just take this whole loop here and then do something like that, set to beats, and then set to quarter note. And now this guy. Now that guy, it changes every single time. How cool is that? And then, ooh, check this out. We take the same thing, and then we drag that there. Then we pan this guy left and this guy right. So now, That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then we do it another time. And then we just cut that and then do that. One single shaker loop, and then we're playing quarter notes. Like every quarter note, I cut that and then layered it, and then I'm gonna pan it around in space, and we'll do this one even more aggressively. Right? I mean, it's a lot right now, obviously, but we need to do a couple things. One, we can compress. Two, we make it less wide. 3, we take an EQ 8, and then we do some shit. Okay, this guy's all of the low end. Like, let's make it less of that. So I do like it. Let's put these guys all in a group. It's mostly fine. I was gonna say we need to make it like, we need to compress it. We're still gonna compress it. Right, honestly, I think just this thing I did here is really good for the dynamics. And then we can widen it up at the end of every 16 beat. 16 bars. That's kind of cool. And then what else? We have that. And then this guy can play over here. We'll give the old left right, or the right left more so. You know? Give it some of that. But that's too repetitive, so we're only going to do it like rarely. And then what else? And then like this guy over here. Do we want, like, what are we going to do with you? Everything needs to be dynamic. Everything needs to be dynamic here. Everything's going to constantly evolve and change, and just like timbre and whatnot, right? So let's give it some of that, and then I guess we'll just give you an auto pan as well. And the auto pan sync to the grid. We'll set you to 3 beats. I think it's sounding pretty good. What else can we add? Let's go back to our reference track. Right. A lot of percussion. Also, the open hat is like way more minimal. So what if we put stab on the open hat? We obviously still need to add like melody and stuff, if we're going to continue down the route of kind of copying this reference track. What else? did we just listened to the thing? Oh yeah, a lot of percussion and stuff like that. The reference track by Pianetti Sintetici Orbita. I just bought it off of Bandcamp. That's this guy right here. I got it from, I was at the climbing gym today, and I was climbing, and I was listening to this mix by Primal Code. This is probably my favorite techno artist. This is probably my favorite like hypnotic techno dude. It's a duo. They fucking crush it. Every one of their mixes is like totally different in sound and environment, super psychedelic and deep, and they're just amazing DJs. And then the song, yeah, they played around here. Really good. A lot of it, honestly, not that much of the music in this mix is even 4/4 or like 4 on the floor, but the song is Farukio Habugio. I've never heard of that in my life, but that's a really cool name. Farukio Habugio. Is this a word? No one has ever typed this in the history of ever, apparently. Cheers, I listen a lot of that. Yeah, Hypnus is really good. Hypnus Records in particular, they have, if you want to go on rabbit hole, just Hypnus the Memoir, and then just there's 158 videos in this. Every month they put out a new mix. I started listening to the series when they were like on page 30 something. I haven't listened to this for a while, but I would go through this and just like go through it. Some of it isn't as like it's a wide variety of sounds. It's all different artists with their own unique take on hypnotic techno, and you know, they all have their own sounds or whatever. Some of it is more generic or like kind of boring than others, and some of it is just like the best shit you've ever heard. Luigi Tozzi is good. Who else do I really like? Trying to see standouts. Primal Code. They're amazing. That was when I first listened to them. Wanderwell actually was my introduction to hypnotic techno. They're really, really good ambient stuff. Like awesome. It's like uplifting, kind of foresty, mysterious ambient. Like you're wandering, huh? Wanderwell, a forest. It's really cool. Sacred Geometry, this one's really, really good. Birds of Paradise, one of the best. They're like probably my second favorite hypnotic techno artist. Another Luigi Tozzi, really good. Toki Fuko. This mix gives me time dilation. Music, like this is the only. There's a song in this mix that gives me time dilation. I've never like that's the sound, that's the vibe or the color of the song to me. Is it literally alters my own perception of time. I've never encountered a song that does that before. It's wild. It's like actually like you go into hypnosis a little bit. It's really cool. It's like, here's this song. It's a 20-minute long song. Yeah, Hypnus Records, they made the spellbook, which is the thing that I'm shilling in like every video and live stream that I ever do. Anyways, they're super inspiring, and I suck ass at making hypnotic techno. I'm really bad at it, so I've been wanting to do this forever. This one's really good with Feral. This one's really good, Konduku. I mean, most of them are good, but like these are standouts to me. This one's really good. This one's good. That one's good. This is a 4-hour mix, also one of the best. This dude, Sebastian Mullert, he's like a fucking legend and has like a ton of different aliases. Yeah, this one's insane. This one's also really, really, really good. Polygonia's cracked. They're just so good and so inspiring. This is another Primal Code mix. This one's like super, super psychedelic and kind of scary sounding. It's neat. Second Birds of Paradise one. This one's more ambient. I like the first one more, but it's still really good. Yeah, no, and it just goes on and on and on. Honestly, I've not really listened to that much past like page 100. I'll peep it every now and then, but like I'm less like obsessed. Pianetti Sintetizzi. This is the people who's doing the reference track that I'm using. It's good. I really like their particular take or sound. Like them and Primal Code are pretty similar, I think. Ryoji Akita, I've not. No. And then Toki Fugo. This one's not as good. I don't like Toki Fugo's recent stuff. I don't like his artist direction where it's veered off. Now he's making stuff that I don't like as much, but his older stuff is like peak ambient techno. It's so good. And then who else? Yeah, I'm just like not that. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with like the recent ones. I've listened to most of these, or at least parts of them, but a lot of the standouts for me were, or at least I was like more obsessed with the sound. It was more new to me in the first like 100 mixes. Anyways, they're really good. They're inspiring, super cool. I wish we had more of this sound in the United States. It's fucked. They're like all in the EU and in the Netherlands and stuff. No one listens to it over here. Like there's plenty of techno here, but it's bad. Farukio Hubugio has created it, yes. Yeah. Let's do less pitch bending on that one. And then, okay, we got to do another thing. Oh, I keep forgetting. We need to add like a ton of drums and like cool, I don't know, toms and percussion. I'm gonna just like type in toms. No, that's all kind of shit. Yeah, no, this is gonna like be like disco fucking toms. Can I want like actual recorded drum breaks. What, drum break? This is the only thing that pops up. Drum samples break. Where the fuck? Drum loop. Okay, let's take let's take all these. And then let's take this and that. Give Sipper, you can have the techno simple swap. Fair. That's fair. Though Tipper's like his events are like the only good shit. No, it's not the only good shit. It's just my taste has been completely destroyed by seeing him so many times, and now all the events in my local area just sucks. US just doesn't have a size scene as well established. There's some yeah. I mean, I'm in like the San Francisco Bay Area kind of ish area, and there's like some psytrance events and stuff, but it's all like awful Goa psytrance. No psychedelic techno. A lot of techno, but it's like just a kick drum and nothing else inspiring, or like industrial more sounding stuff. Semantica record label. I've not heard of that one. Semantica Records, Spain. Yeah, it sounds about right. Everything's in fucking Spain or France. Good. Sick. Yeah. That's good stuff. Infected Mushroom at the Ministry of Sound a few years back. I don't think I've ever seen Infected Mushroom. I've not, no. I did see Schwangel very recently. That was cool. That was very cool. But I don't really like psytrance in of itself. But yeah, like psy kind of techno, the like hybrid in between hypnotic progressive techno and psytrance stuff is really cool. Hello, Ancestral Landscapes. Okay, what are we doing? We're taking this thing. We're gonna go, and then okay, Okay, this is way worse than I was expecting. We need to just not the hats, actually. That's what I really need. Let's just grab snares. Snare. Let's type snare. And then let's go sort by, let's just grab all the snares that I like to use. All of them. Right? And then we're gonna zoom in here. We're gonna take every fucking snare and just chuck it right here. A lot of snares. Let's get rid of that really long guy. And then stop. E closer. Thank you. And then let's just consolidate all of these. Aura Tech has a couple good albums of like side up. I do like side up. I'm definitely more in the side up thing. And then now let's create a big ol' thing. And then this legato. And then arpeggiator. Give me arpeggiator. And then you. Why is it doing that? I mean, that's the first one, really? Why is it going over only the first, like, 8? It's because we're in 23 Ito. Let's delete that. The fuck? I guess that's all of them? Alright, I'm just stupid. Alright, and then random. I cannot find the song you're referring to. Auratech Insomnia? Oh, this one, the very first link. That's probably it. Oh, check out. Give me. Come on. I'm skipping around because I have no patience. Yeah, it's cool. And yes, side up. I will keep it later in more sincerity. What? Oh, it needs to be 23 Ito, right? Okay, and then this guy. I need to make this cool somehow. How do I do that? That's kind of cool. Bring that in later. So we have like Glitchy Dude. Glitchy Dude. I do not. Honestly, I'm not very familiar with any techno label, with the exception of Hypnos Records, because I'm a simple man who finds one single record label and then immediately pledges loyalty and doesn't really listen to that much outside of that for the longest time until I'm shackled to a chair and then forced to listen to something different, and then I realize that there's actually other good music out there besides the thing that I've already been listening to. So, that's me, personally. I mean, I think we have plenty of shit now. We kind of just need, like, a melody, right? Because that's the main principle of the song. I guess we should just like get something new in here. I can try playing synth, probably. I should have turned on the synth prior to starting this project file, because now it's not hooked up to Ableton. I mean, I can still just record directly into it, so that's fine. But oh wait, no, I can't play the synth. We're in 23. Well, I can, just the bass line's in 23, and who gives a fuck about that? So I can still play the synth if I want. Here, let's what do we want to do? Let's do Serum 2. Serum 2. And then let's go. Oh, what do I do with you? Tuning file, load tuning, downloads, 23 equal divisions of an octave. I should have done that before or after switching the preset. Because I want to do... Where's the flute I made? Where's the flute? Zen flute. This guy. Tune file. Let's do it again. Downloads 23. And then now we need to get a tuner. Okay, and then let's get operator also out here. And then also load a tuner and just verify that these are supposed to be playing the same fucking note. F double flat. And then this one is not that. Ooh, what will be the easiest way to do this? Is there an easier way to lower everything? No? Easiest way to detune everything to what I want. A load of tuning. Right, when I did that. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, they're basically the same. Fuck it. whatever. What are we doing now? What was the fucking the sub bass? What pitch is this? I'm playing B sharp. Okay. If we let's just make, what do we want to do? Let's just make this a hobbled minor scale. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, no. 2. And then this one, I think 1, 2 again. And then we'll hobble it like that. Something like that. And then, yeah, we hide that over there. Doesn't really sound like good, TBH. Let's go. Where the fuck am I? What's happening? Kinda lame. It's pretty stupid. Let's go just exit in. From this guy. And then, let's change you to that. Exit in USB. Not my voice. Right. Huh? I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back. All right. All right. I started slowing down and got a little lost. Let's come back to life. I like that. Is this guy even... What's happening with you? Be better. Here, let's wait, let's just have a thing where we just duplicate. How do I want to do this? Kind of something. Have this guy go 3. And then auto pan. And granted. just like a little thing we'll have, and then it'll fade back out, right? And then it'll repeat over there, right? We can just have that. This is a thing. This is a thing that'll just like keep looping. Then we need what? More stuff? We need way more shit going on. Let's take this guy. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's exactly what we needed. Oh, I haven't even sidechained like anything yet, so it'll sound a lot better when I do that. So it didn't actually, maybe I wanted the other stuff. Oh well. And then, what do we want? What do we want to do? Take this guy. Operator. What are you? You're about G sharp. That's kind of cool. G flat. What do? We play E, G flat, F. We're playing B sharp here. Let's go. What do they do to my side chain? Oh, they just put the thing on a different spot. Okay. Fix. Glitchy stuff sounds like it doesn't really belong here. I think I'm gonna make it work. It's not mixed very well, and there's definitely issues, but that's the way that it is going, and I have no choice but to keep it going in the way that it is going. Maybe I'll end up taking it out, but for the time being, as the project is unfolding, it's I'm happy with it personally. We're going in IDM territory. The title is trying and failing to make hypnotic techno, right? So we're succeeding at that. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I can parse when people are being shitheads and when people are being genuine, so no worries. many tools. Go Dallas and invest 10,000 euros in modular. Too many tools and not enough money. Isn't Dallas you need more tools? Dallas is too many tools. Saying not enough tools and not enough money used. Go spend all your money on tools that you don't need. Yeah. So I need to make this like way longer, right? We need to extend everything out because again, hypnotic techno and whatnot. Oh, this breakdown build-up thing. We need to add more shit to it. We can just put some sweeps. I always put this guy in everything. Oh shit. Okay, everyone's chatting. Have you ever tried Steinberg VST Reason? No, I have not. Since I started watching your streams, I'm committing to audio more frequently, and it's helped me not get stuck on dumb shit. Good. Hell yeah. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you. Reason is not a VST, it's a standalone. Yeah, Reason's a DAW, right? I prefer Cardinam. I don't know what they're talking about. Modular witchcraft. That is outside of my realm. Rebirth, I imagine that is still witchcraft. I don't understand. You're from Czechia. Bastel Instruments taught me how to build synths. That's cool. For myself, never go Eurorack, and now you got 5 Eurorack cases. Yeah, I need to. Technically not an artist. I should not be taken seriously. Yeah, I'm never stepping into that. Well, I'm gonna at some point, and then I'm gonna probably like obsess over and stop making music. So I'm trying to delay the day when that comes by as long as possible. So I played a little bit around with like patching stuff when I minored in electronic music, and so we had like a old, like super old, was it a Moog from like the 80s or something like that? can't remember what the synth was, but it was like super fancy like for its time, and a lot of patching cables and stuff. And I was like, the premise is cool, but I could just do it all in Ableton so much quicker, you know. So I don't know, but the premise is neat. The thing is, if I get like hardware synths, I just want it to be something that can do something that genuinely nothing else can. That's like the only like case in which I would get something. So the Osmos synth, the interface is entirely unique in like how expressive it is, right? And then also the synth engine itself is kind of one of a kind in that it's like a really interesting modal synth. So can't figure out if you're for real or just troll. I have no idea what's going on in the chat. You're all are speaking hieroglyphics at this point because I don't know what the fuck any of these VSTs are, but I'm here for it. Hypnotic techno, I would check out the record label Hypnus Records, but it's basically very progressive in that it very, very slowly evolves, kind of like progressive house music. It has psychedelic sound design, a lot of interesting sound design that is just like very slowly evolving. So it's hypnotic, in that, you know, you could it kind of evokes like a hypnotic state, a meditative state. It's really interesting. So it's really great for like, it works really well as like passive music. So like if you're like, let's say you're cleaning or doing chores or you're playing a board game, like I like to play the game Go when I'm also listening to this kind of music, because Go itself like induces kind of a hypnotic meditative state when you're playing it, because you get so sucked into the game. The game also lasts like hours. So this kind of music, which, you know, goes on for like hours, right? Like you listen to like multi-hour long mixes of it. All the songs are like 5 to 8 minutes long or whatever. It like works really well for that state. But also it's deeply rewarding if you pay attention to it. So it can be background music that you listen to when you're programming or studying or something. Or you can also, you know, focus in on it or go crazy dancing to it. And it has there's a lot of like ambient kind of stuff, and then there's like the more up-tempo or like just high energy, more danceable stuff. It's kind of a mix between psytrance and techno and IDM, I would say. And it's a really, really cool genre. I would recommend you check out Hypnus Records. I was talking about it earlier. They got like 150 hour plus long mixes by a bunch of really, really great artists on in this playlist, and I would just like comb through it and just like find what you like. I recommend actually this one here by Birds of Paradise the most. This one's really good. It's like very melodic, really good, and like again, it rewards long listening, it rewards patience, right? I'm just kind of skipping through it, which you shouldn't be doing. It's good. So like at any one moment, it's just like the same loop, but it's very slowly evolving. Slow, long automation over everything. Right? That's hypnotic techno. and it's one of my favorite genres, and I suck ass at making it. So I want to get good at it. So what I did actually in the beginning of the streams, I took this song by an artist I really like, in the style of hypnotic techno that I want to make, and I bought it on Bandcamp, threw it in my timeline, and then analyze it. So you can see like it's super inspired by that, especially in the beginning with just like the drums, right? And then here, let's filter in this melody over time. Yes, sir. The shaker here. Where's the open hat shaker thing? Yeah, I think you can actually get loud there. No, I'm hard on myself because I've tried to make this genre for like years and I've always just been bad at it. It's deceptively really difficult, right? Like I feel like techno is just hard. My brain and the way I've approached production and the way I make music is just like not necessarily geared well, I think, towards like really progressive long music, because like I think one, like I lack kind of the attention span to make it, and it just trains like a whole different muscle, right? Like you'd think, oh, techno is just a kick drum, so it's got to be really easy. Well, no, you need to make that single tech drum so fucking good that people are going to want to listen to it for 6 minutes, right? So it's tricky. Yeah. It's fucking hard. It's difficult, but we're making something kind of cool. I think this premise that I have here is I'm interested. I'm intrigued in it. I didn't really like the song until like a couple like 5-10 minutes ago. So like we're making good progress. I shouldn't do that with the sub. That was stupid. We're just gonna keep the fucking simple bass line. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Any DAW is fine, as long they all can do the same thing. Just don't use GarageBand, I think, because like maybe GarageBand is good now. I don't know, but last I heard, GarageBand is still like pretty damn limited. But again, it depends on the type of music you're making or whatever. But all DAWs can do the same fucking thing. So you know, once you're like really stuck with one, I would just like keep at it. I am tempted to switch to Bitwig just because Ableton be crashing all the fucking time, but I have like 7 years of Ableton knowledge kind of just baked into my brain, so I'm just gonna stick with it, you know? Yeah. put this thing. Yeah. Take you there. And then arpeggiator. And then let's just how do I want to do this? What would be an easy? Here, let's just we're just gonna automate this guy. Just like something like that. Something like that. And then let's hit it with a roar afterwards. Except this needs to keep automating like that. And then 31, record out. Oh, no, that's pretty easy to do in Ableton. If you want to like create slow variations and modify it over time, you just use certain like plugins or VSTs, or I use like Max for Live devices and stuff like that. So for instance, like I guess I didn't do it with these open hats. What did I do it with? I mean, I made like for instance, right here, I took like a single shaker loop. This, like I took this guy, stretched it out really big, and then layered it with offset versions of itself. So this guy starts there, and that guy plays that. That guy plays that. That guy plays that. They're all from the same loop, right? That's just offset like that. That guy's like offset like that, or whatever. And by layering them all with each other, making it go on and on and on. And honestly, I should make it a polymeter, right? Like just make it a polymeter by doing that. And then now the shaker is going to sound different at every single, like the shaker, the timbre of the shaker, because it's a bunch of different layers in stereo space, are going to sound different every single time it plays. And since it's a polymeter, it's going to sound different. So that's already constantly evolving in of itself, right? Fucking bubbles. I got distracted. I got so distracted. This guy here. constantly trying to perfectionism, constantly trying to improve your tracks and not releasing it. Yeah, yeah. I think everyone's probably. I definitely have that. It's very annoying. What do we want to do with this guy? Let's make it kind of fluty. And then let's put and then we need to layer it. So let's see if we can do some kind of counterpoint thing. That's pretty good. Like that, and then. Let's add another layer. I don't know about this guy. New here, no idea who you are. Cool, neat. The YouTube algorithm is doing things. Like it when it does that. And then let's make you different. What are you? Make you shimmer. And then let's add envelope to little microtonal shindig thing here. Yeah, there's a lot of layers going on. They're not really. This guy, I think, is the issue. Can I automate the LFO amount? I can't? Wavetable, come on. You should 100% be able to automate that. That's fucking dumb. I can change the amount. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. And then what? We just go straight back into fucking techno beat? We just add the drums back in, everything? We just go... Let's make this guy autofilter, legacy autofilter. Yeah, I'm not really happy with this melody yet. Different sound design maybe, basing it differently. Yeah, Serum 2 is good. It's just my workflow right now, it does not lend well to it. Right now, I'm in 23 notes per octave. We're in a microtonal tuning. So if I were to use Serum 2, I need to import a tuning file into every single iteration of Serum 2 that I end up loading up. And also I'm just faster at like wavetable and operator. So like when I'm making these like really quick to small layers, it tends to work well for that. Why make note by note, not just record it directly over MIDI synthesizer as I imagine it in my mind? Well, when I'm placing note by note, that's what I'm imagining in my mind, right? You said, so there's a whole bunch of shit I missed. So what I meant initially with limited tools on hardware sensor Eurorag, you can only do so much and you go with it. Ableton, I see, yeah, endless depth, but then there's limitations. Yeah. So, I mean, you have to add limitations to yourself. So I decided at the beginning of the stream, I'm going to learn to make hypnotic techno. I'm going to work within this genre, this BPM. I went ahead and set up markers beforehand of how I want to structure and make the song. Ended up breaking some of those rules. I'm not 100% abiding by them, but like it leads me down a creative path. Also, like I said, other things, like I set it to 23 notes per octave, which is like kind of a weird fucking tuning. And so that like changes the way that you're going to go around harmony and stuff, you know? So, yeah, you can do that within Ableton yourself. You just have to add the limitations yourself, as opposed to it being an inherent part of the hardware. Anyways, I don't know about this breakdown. I mean, we probably need to just keep this going for much longer. Maybe instead of a breakdown, we just like keep the drums going. Let's zoom back out a little bit. need to save the project before it crashes because this is Ableton, so it might do that. Here, 250716 is the date. What do we call this song? Did we talk about anything cool in the chat that would inspire a song title? We talked about other song titles. I don't know. I'll name it. Someone give it a name, please. Thank you. Outro's a clusterfuck for sure, but I mean we're at like 4 minutes already almost. I guess, but we're making hypnotic techno, so the shit's supposed to be like 6 minutes long, which is kind of ridiculous. It doesn't need to be. I mean, we're still making something I'm happy with, so even if it doesn't like fit that exactly. Yeah, moon jumping is pretty decent. Like, the moon jumping sounds silly a little bit. It doesn't need to be silly, but it's better than whatever the fuck I would have come up with. Yeah, let's just go 250716. Lunar gives night vibes. Can't just call it Merkaba. Apparently that's another artist. Squelch no. can't do that. Yeah, I think it's moon jumping. That's the title for now. Moon jumping, hypnotic techno, sorta. 126 BPM. Decent. Okay, this little polyrhythm section's kind of shit. The first time it happens is alright. So we'll just Make this fade out. And then what? And then what? And I guess we could just have an outro like over here. I'll be back in a second. Renovator plug? I don't know what you're talking about. Mini meters? This is mini meters, the spectrogram. It's probably what you're referring to. It costs $10 and like an external plugin you can just like run on your desktop. Just all audio goes through that. right, take care, compliant? Compliant, actually, is how it's pronounced. I don't know, I just started leaning into the like weird chord thing and just made it weirder and weirder and weirder to the point where it sounds like too weird probably, but it's whatever. It's weird music, so why not? What else is there to do? I mean, we have this thing that gets added back in. I made that too weird, I think. I think I ruined that a little bit. The fuck? Why is Tamper Monkey popping up? I don't know why that keeps happening. Okay, what? Yeah, I don't know. This section's kind of weird. I don't really know what to do with it. I mean, it's like just ongoing without much structure, but that's also kind of hypnotic techno, and there's just a bunch of cool sound design stuff happening, so like that's fine, I suppose. you gotta remove a kick every now and then. Absolutely massive. That's kind of cool. That's good. That's pretty cool. Doing that. I'm gonna bring this guy in. Utility. We're gonna gradually bring this guy into over here, and then we're gonna super sidechain this guy to the kick. Much more than everything else. I hate that they moved my buttons around. honestly. Maybe, honestly, just go straight to it. All the shakers are being stupid. Alright, let's go back a little bit. I'm losing. I need to refresh. Hey, thank you, Jade. Remind me, what's your job again? I cannot remember. I'm sure you told me before. What are we doing? Clip, transposition. Also, how's the tabla going? You been practicing? You still seeing the teacher? Curious about that. find that when I get really into practicing like tabla and piano and stuff is when I'm not doing production, and vice versa. So I mean, like yeah, that can be annoying, but also it's a nice balance because when I'm hitting like writer's block and I just hate production and I just like can't find myself being able to like make music or whatever, there's always something you can do with, you know, physical instruments and improving as a physical musician instead of just, you know, like computer music man, you know. So I do have that experience, and I have to say, like the year in which I was practicing tabla, like when I first got into tabla, I was practicing for like 4 hours every day. Maybe not every day of the year. There's ebbs and flows to it, but that was probably like my least productive year as a musician. However, it was totally still worth it, you know. So I don't know. Yeah, it gives and takes for sure. Especially when I'm new to one, can't implement it in recording yet. Yeah, I haven't done much with recording. I have a couple songs where I've recorded it, but for the most part, it hasn't bridged too much into my production, with the exception of like 2 or 3 songs where it's like kind of a centerpiece in it. But even then, that was like pretty lackluster playing. But honestly, I think with this final section here, this like really aggro groove or whatever I just added, now I think we're pretty much set. Now we can end the song pretty much. So like we're just gonna, yeah, whenever the section comes ending, we're just gonna start stripping it back a lot. This part sounds exactly like a Birds of Paradise song. Literally off of this. I was just talking about it. Let me... Not exactly, but like... It's similar. When I rate your mix, like your mix down of a song or a whole like 30-minute DJ mix, because the latter I do not have the time for, but I would totally, yeah, I'll listen to your song and give feedback. If you want feedback, join my Discord, and then in feedback and whips you can drop a thing, and then I'll tell you, I'll review it. Anyways, it's kind of similar in sound. All right, we got it. Batman versus Sarah. So there's clicks. I don't know, there's sample or something. There's clicks every once in a while when the chords are changing. Right. Those are all clicks. I would just like use volume fades to get rid of those. Your toms are distorting towards the end in a way that I personally am not a fan of. That could be an artistic decision. If you like the sound of it clipping towards the end, then that's fine. But I don't know. It sounds like maybe you got like a clipper on everything or on the master or something. Also, Jade, yeah, I did listen, but I forgot what it sounded like. I can review it after this. There's some piercing. It looks like this is a really loud harmonic, but this guy is pretty piercing, especially on this point. So just like taming resonances and stuff like that on that instrument. So yeah, the drums are like a little bit too distorted for my taste. It feels kind of like blown out, and I don't know, could do with more. Oh yeah, clipper on the master. Yeah, I don't know. I've ranted plenty in the past about it, but I'm not a fan of the everything being clipped to shit sound. So like, if you like that, go for it. But I'm gonna rip on it because I think it sounds bad. But you know, some people like it. Some people want things to be really, really loud, so it's whatever. Anyways, yeah, this right here is like pretty very resonant, or just too loud. It'd probably just be turned down. Nah, it's not that bad. I would just tame like that harmonic just a tiny bit. That guy's not too bad. I would say just more so it needs like an EQ, like a little bell. Like you just need to take like a couple dB out of like the mids, wherever this like really bright harmonic is. Yeah, and then sounds like the clicks are distorting. Am I hearing that right? Yeah, it's just way too squashed. The clipper on the master is doing way too much, and I don't know, I can just hear saturation, distortion, clipping artifacts from everything. Like when the toms are hitting, I'm hearing the guitar clip, right? Because they're both playing at the same time, and that signal is being sent into a clipper. I think that doesn't sound good. It sounds two independent elements, especially during this like melodic kind of breakdown thing. They shouldn't be interfering with each other in that way, you know? So I would dial back the clipper like a ton. How loud is this? Let's look at all the mini meter stuff. Yeah, it seems like you're hitting like -9 LUFS, and you definitely don't need to clip everything to get to -9 LUFS. I would just use like, I mean, I guess it depends on like what your limiter, or I guess your clipper, because you're using a clipper in this case. I use, in my production, I use a limiter, and like certain clippers and limiters suck more than others. So like the Ableton stock limiter, for instance, cannot push things nearly as loud as Ozone 8 can without creating all sorts of artifacts, because the algorithm that is using for limiting or whatever is different. And I assume it's like kind of similar for clippers. Maybe not, I don't know, because I know some people just like slam their clipper straight through the exit out master with nothing on it, but I think that sounds bad, so I don't know. I just don't stop clipping it. It sounds bad. Or at least if you do dial back all the elements that are just make it not clip when things are you want the clipping to just shave off the top of things. You don't want the whole sound to get so saturated that it creates like artifacts everywhere, right? So sidechaining the hits to the guitar, you could do that, that would help, but I feel like it's more so the I guess how loud everything's going into the master. Oh, there's a lot of mud everywhere. It could be that you could just like EQ out. I didn't even think of this. You could just EQ out like all the shit below like 100 hertz for everything except your toms or something, right? Right, this is noise. You got like basically noise from a bunch of different interfering elements taking up the low end, and then that's probably eating up all your headroom, and then that's making everything sound really bad when it clips, and it clips much easier because when it's clipping due to this low end noise, what it's doing is it's creating harmonics of the low end fundamentals, and they're everywhere, so you're creating inharmonic distortion everywhere. So in mid-side EQ, make the lows. Yeah, the lows should be mono, but there should also not be that much lows. You shouldn't have noise for your you shouldn't have any noise in your like sub in your low end. Your sub should be ideally a single sine wave. Like that's it. So like here, let's look at, why is my mouse moving so slow? Let's look at this song, and this song is mixed like shit right now. I just made it, but if we so I mean, there's like some of this noise that just comes from like the limiter, and there's also probably some sounds that I have that are I didn't EQ out the low end. So like, you know, the limiter and clipper is gonna like create some of that like noise or whatever, but you could see it's literally just the kick drum, which the kick drum is just a swooping down sine wave that swoops down in pitch, right? And then there's the sub bass that, and they're sidechained together, so only one of them's playing at a time. So the low end is only a sine wave at any point. So what you have going is you have a bunch of different sounds that all have a bunch of low end, and not only that, but that low end isn't a sine wave, it's a whole bunch of sine waves, which is noisy. So that low end takes up all your headroom, and then when your master clips, you're going to get harmonics of whatever is clipping, and that giant wave that is clipping is going to be completely inharmonic to everything else in your song because it's just like low end noise unrelated to anything, right? So yeah, the using like reverb and stuff isn't the issue. It's more so just like EQ content. So I would just like go through and find everything that doesn't need to have low end and just use an EQ like that and just like, cut out everything below like 130 or something like that. You know, it can vary, and then you just want only one element in the low end. If you want to have two elements that are in the low end, then sidechain them together. One of them should only be playing at a time, right? And it just sounds like on this like snare or tom or whatever, timpani, whatever your drum is, it sounds like you also just have like a clipper on that, and I don't think that sounds good because it's like it's pretty quiet in the mix. It's clearly not clipping the master, and it's still clipping on certain hits more than others. So I would just dial back like all of the distortion. But again, I like dynamics. I like things to not clip. Because when I'm listening, if I'm listening to an orchestra, right? You got like an orchestra playing. It sounds like you got all these like kind of organic sounding instruments. The moment something clips, all it does is just reminds me that I'm listening to a digital thing coming out of a speaker, and it's like a poor recreation of the actual experience. You don't want artifacts that remind the listener that they're listening to something that was like processed in a weird way. I don't know, it used to be that clipping was bad and you should avoid it, and now it's the trend. But again, I'm an old man yelling at clouds, and I want people to stop clipping everything, so you can ignore me on that, but I do think you need to dial it back at least. You got to so have to use multiple layers ambient. Because you can see the rain and wind. Gotcha, yeah. Yeah, so you got clicks, get rid of all the clicks. So just like find, you know, those like crossfades or whatever, add crossfades and volume fades to whenever your like chord changes or whatever sample you're using or whatever. And because whenever there's a discrete jump, it's going to create a click. And then, what else did I say? There's a couple sounds I felt like was a little bit too resonant in like the low mids and the mids. And then I would clip everything way less, pretty much. I mean, like everything's like decently like volume relative to each other, so that's good. But it's like more so like what you're doing to the masters, like kind of butchering the song and the output. Like your mixing seems to be fine, but it's how you're processing the whole thing at the end. I think that's what I have an issue with, in my subjective opinion. You know, take everyone. When you get feedback, you know, take opinions with a grain of salt. Consider them, but don't take them as gospel. Yeah. And then Jade asked if I listen to his 30-second attempt at making music again. Me and go up. I'm gonna bitch about clipping again. I mean, this is decent, and the clipping that you're doing is like a sound design tool, but I would like a little bit less of it on the like yapping little squelchy guys that are in the stereo field. Like I feel like I'm hearing the distortion more than them. I would just dial that back a little bit. Maybe use a dry wet on your saturator that is clipping it. This is cool on a cool soundscape. I would add percussion, because right now you just got a kick and a snare, but maybe just like a hi-hat hitting on quarter notes. Just something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'll just start adding percussion. Double the loop, triple the loop, make loop bigger. Vary percussion and whatnot. Oh, you said in the thing, advice on snare would be lovely. Not the greatest at making those. Texture reverse snare hits. I think the snare is fine. There's a lot of reverb on it. If you want the transient of the snare to be like more punchy or whatever, then I would put a compressor on the snare and then have the compressor have like 80 to 90, like 90 milliseconds of attack on the compressor. Make it the threshold like really low. And then fuck with the dry wet. So whatever the dry wet will be how much of that added transient you're adding versus the old signal, and that can make it punchier, which would be good, I think. And you'd use that obviously on the snare itself, not the reverse hits. I think the reverse hits are fine. But where else to take it? I would just like start expanding on the percussion and stuff like that. It doesn't need to. I don't know. You got like something decently set up. You just start adding percussion. You can expand that to like a minute long, and then would you know it, you have the percussion going. And then you could start having the synths evolve and respond to it. Maybe have the melody being played by a different synth, and then that like does some call and response with the percussion or whatever. Just like the melody just starts evolving timbrally, you know. Make it start doing squelchy stuff instead of just being like a sine wave or something. But yeah. Okay, let's review what we got here, and then I'm probably gonna stop streaming soonish. I'm getting tired. It's been 3 hours, but we got something pretty decent, I think. This little weird polymeter section is a little fucking weird, but overall, besides that questionable idea, I think it's all solid. Did I change something? Why is the kick so clicky now? The kick feels very clicky now. Anyways, I've been working on the song for like 3.5 hours, so my perception in perspective is shot. So I'm gonna stop doing that. But this was good. Something's coming along. I think the sound design here isn't that great. I think the beat or whatever is cool, but it doesn't sound clean, you know. Too much flipping. And it does. I thought I added more shit there. I don't know. I'm losing it. Okay. All right, folks. I'm done streaming. Hope you enjoyed this. This was fun. Techno was fun. Techno was good. I need to get better at it. Yeah, it would be cool to like have like a techno project or like be able to do multiple sets, you know, like because like I have down tempo, I have ambient, I have like kind of up tempo halftime stuff. Techno would also be sick if I also did techno. Like, would be cool if eventually I'm like playing techno sets or something. Like, imagine, yeah. The dream is getting billed to play a festival, and I play like 4 different times, and then every single set is like completely different genre or whatever. That would be neat. Okay, yeah. I'm done. I'm heading out. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Probably tomorrow. Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Take care, y'all. Bye.